Nice job.
13 catches, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns for Hill. Fourth quarter, Brady finding Mike Evans for 31 yards. That made it 27-17. They would get closer. They'd get this to 27-24 on this touchdown from Brady to Evans. And there's 4 minutes left in the game. So if they'd been able to get a stop, Brady would have had a chance to win the game. But you don't get a stop when Patrick Mahomes is playing quarterback for the other team. 3rd and 7. Rex, they put it away through the air.
3rd and 7. You know they're going to run the football here, Greeny. Of course they are. No, they're not. Why? Because you have Patrick Mahomes.
And ridiculous. With that, it is the Chiefs who get the win, 27-24. And so, again, we opened the show this morning talking from the Buccaneers side of things, their struggles, their offense, their game plan. Dan, now let's give due where it is clearly deserved. Let's talk about Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and it's going to go to one of those Tyreek Hill touchdowns. I want everyone to hear kind of the audio of one of these clips. You're going to listen to Patrick Mahomes break the huddle. This is right when he breaks the huddle. Just listen to him call out the coverage before he ever gets to the line of scrimmage. Pay attention. Okay, so now Patrick Mahomes just broke the huddle and he goes, cover zero for everyone. Cover zero is man coverage. Now, how does Patrick Mahomes, when he breaks the huddle, how is he able to already know the coverage before ever scanning over the defense? Because coverage indicators by Andy Reid, you take your tight end, you put him in the slot, a little bit of a non-traditional place. He's matched by safety. Okay, I've got a man-to-man coverage. Now I'll put Le'Veon Bell out here. Now he's got to be matched by Devin White. Patrick Mahomes breaks the huddle. That's the first thing he looks at. He knows as a defense you're in man-to-man coverage. Either cover zero, which he yells out, or cover one. It doesn't matter. Now, when you get to man-to-man coverage, quarterbacks think of 2 things. Number one, is there a scheme, a mesh, a rub, a pick that we love? Or is there a guy that we love? Were you the first pick on the schoolyard at the draft? Now, newsflash. It wasn't Mike Greenberg and it wasn't Rex Ryan. The guy who was picked first was Tyreek Hill, okay? He's one-on-one up top there, and he's just going to run a go route. Patrick Mahomes knows the coverage. He already knows that I know my guy's one-on-one down a red zone go route, but it's got to happen quick. Now, again, why is he able to happen so fast? Watch this. Look at this with Patrick Mahomes. Knows the coverage. Ball's already coming out of his hands. The ball is already coming out of his hands. And Tyreek Hill, that pick is only 1, 2, 3, 4 yards downfield. How can Patrick Mahomes operate that quickly at the line of scrimmage? Because he already knew what the coverage was. And how about that throw? Look at the throw. That is incredible ball placement. When you give the most talented player at the position the coverage before the snap, talent reigns supreme. But this is the angle that I love the most. Because listen, the information isn't only for just Patrick Mahomes. The information could be for everybody on the offense. Look at Tyreek Hill's 4 yards downfield. He's already peeking back for the football. He knows it's man coverage too. He knows Patrick Mahomes is going to dial them up because at the end of the day, this is actually pretty good coverage. But Carlton Davis is just getting his head around, and the ball's already about to drop in Tyreek Hill's lap. The information that Patrick Mahomes gets before the snap, I want everyone to think of when they were a student and they had to go into exams. Imagine not only knowing the questions, but knowing the answer to the questions before walking in. It might have been one of the reasons why I got through school. It would have helped you perform a lot better, just like Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
It's extraordinarily well done. It's such a good look at it there. And Rex, again, no one knows defense more than you do. And to some degree, Mahomes, Hill, Kelsey, they're just ridiculously good. But you didn't like what you saw from the defensive game plan anyway.
No, it was absolutely brutal. Like, this was, and there's one great example by Dan, but there were several in that. It's like, first off, you have to start by saying, okay, this guy can beat me immediately. Like, and so to me, I've got to take him away, at least slow him up. How do you do that? You roll your coverage to Tyreek Hill 100% of the time. Why? Because 100% of the time, you can't cover a man coverage. And that's what happens. So you have to do that, and it's just absolutely crazy. Look, he may know it's, that your coverage, you're rolling your coverage there. At least he ain't going to beat you with Tyreek Hill.
Ryan Clark, let's talk about it. What are you going to do with them when they're playing well, when Patrick Mahomes is doing his thing and Tyreek Hill is doing his thing? Like, what are you going to do with them?
You ain't going to do a dang thing, Greeny, but get your tail cooked. Just like we saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. Listen, bro, when they pull out the big game playbook, they're a totally different team. You look at Baltimore, Buffalo, Tampa Bay. They outgained those 3 teams in their big games, the big opponents, the good offenses, by 675 yards because they understand the moment. They know what they have to do offensively. And Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid They stopped playing small ball. They stopped saying, you know what, let's work on the run game, or let's focus on this guy. And they started saying, we about to bomb on y'all, and y'all can't stop us. Look at the 4-minute offense when other teams turn around and hand the ball off and try to salt the clock away. You know what they did? They put the ball in the hands of the best football player in the world, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And when this team comes out with this mindset, you can't stop them. And we saw that last night.
They were unbelievable yesterday. That was a statement performance, no question about it. And Mahomes for MVP, I think, is starting to gather a little momentum. So that was an eminently watchable game. Now let's go to one that was considerably less watchable. Saints, Broncos. By now you know the story. That's Kendall Hinton, a practice squad wide receiver who played a little quarterback in college and became the starting quarterback for the Broncos yesterday because of coronavirus concerns. That's Hinton's first throw of the day. It's nearly picked off. Broncos would go 3 and out. He's playing against Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill didn't throw the ball a whole lot yesterday either. Now, he didn't have to. It was just basically, what is this, the little power sweep there, Rex?
Yeah, absolutely. A little grounded pound. That's what this game was all about.
Why not? He's just going to take it in. Taysom Hill would rush it for 2 touchdowns. The Saints would take a 14-0 lead. They were never going to be in any danger of losing. Here's Hinton again. Hinton's going to throw this one up, and Janoris Jenkins is going to pick it off. The Broncos are the first team not to complete a pass in the National Football League since 2011 on a Tim Tebow-led Broncos team. Saints would be up 17-0. By the way, Hinton would complete 1 pass on the day. Let's take a look at that. This is Hinton for Noah Fant. That's his only completion. You'll see he's even laughing after the play. Hinton himself is like, yeah, I can't believe it either. 2 plays later, 2nd and 10. Hinton, here's another completion. Unfortunately, it's to the other team. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He'd finished Hintonwood 1 of 9, 13 yards, 2 interceptions. The story in this game, I guess, is Latavius Murray. If you'd like to attach one, he would run it for 2 touchdowns on the day, 19 carries, 124 yards. Candidly, just an absolutely terrible day for a lot of reasons. Here's Vic Fangio with his thoughts.
Well, I was disappointed on a couple levels in that our quarterbacks put us in this position, our quarterbacks put the league in that position. You know, we count on them to be the leaders of the team and, you know, leaders of the offense. And those guys made a mistake, and that is disappointing. You know, obviously I haven't done a good enough job of selling the protocols to them, you know, when they're on their own. So, you know, part of that could fall on me.
So here are the numbers. 1 completion, 2 interceptions, 13 yards. The last team to have more picks than completions in a game was Ryan Leaf in 1998 for the Chargers. And Dan, I know that this one was personal to a degree for you. Why is that?
Well, nothing's more expensive than a missed opportunity. And that's what this was for the backup quarterbacks and really the starter for the Denver Broncos. As a young player, as a young backup quarterback in the NFL, I used to pray to God for just a chance to get on the field. Because sometimes your opportunity is just luck, that it just happens that you get a chance to start in the NFL. And so many guys never get that chance, and they have a year or 2 career, and then they're gone. So guys like Brett Rippon and Blake Bortles, who's trying to get back into the NFL, and Drew Lock, for you guys not to do the simple thing of wearing your mask is a shame on you. You can't sit there and go, man, I wish I would have gotten my chance. You had your chance. And you blew it because you couldn't do something as simple as having self-discipline to follow the protocol that's handed down from the NFL. You can't go home and tell your buddies or tell your girlfriend or tell your wife, I never got my opportunity. Yeah, you did. You blew it because you couldn't wear a mask. And Drew Lock, this is the most concerning thing I've ever seen from you since you've come into the NFL. How can I trust you to be the CEO of the billion-dollar company that I run, and you can't wear a mask? I don't care if you don't want to. I don't care if you don't like it, and I don't care if you agree with it. You have to do what you have to do what you want to do. And this is a missed opportunity by all the quarterbacks for the Denver Broncos. You let down your team. You let down yourself. Shame. Shame on you.
That's really well said. And the league in general. Dan, thank you for that, because I think it's important that somebody said it and you were the right person to do it. Meanwhile, let's run the hurry up through some other big performances from yesterday. Ryan Clark, Jeremy Chin had scoop and scores on back-to-back offensive plays. First time in NFL history. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's never been done. And this is a guy I highlighted coming out of a small school up into the draft and thought that he would be a star. They use him in very unique ways in Carolina, and he made plays. There was a forced fumble on Kirk Cousins. He scoops it. There's a run the next play. He pulls it out, and he gets another touchdown. He even dunks it on the goalpost. He's like, I'm going to show you how great of a football player I am, but I'm going to show you that in the offseason I can get down on the hardwood.
Meanwhile, Dan Orlovsky, Kirk Cousins pulled out that game for the Vikings and played well. What'd you think?
Well, it helps when you have a guy like Justin Jefferson. I mean, he has become a top 10 receiver. Kirk's in a really good place. You know, they're running the football really well, no question, but Gary Kubiak is absolutely dialed. And this is the style of football that we've become accustomed to with Kirk Cousins. Super efficient, ball goes to the right spot, not hurting his football team. He's playing in a good, comfortable place.
That was a really entertaining game. So was this one. Cleveland and Jacksonville, and Rex, Nick Chubb, 144 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and this is amazing because very few running backs make others around them better. Nick